This is a charming little novel, The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Ogawa, uh, published in 2003 and translated from the Japanese. The professor in this book has had an accident a long time ago which has deprived him of his career really. Um, in and the effect of his condition is that he can only remember things that happened within the last 80 minutes. So every day he has to learn who the housekeeper is anew and everything else, except for mathematics, which he can retain his knowledge of. He has notes pinned all over him, including, for instance, one that says, my housekeeper, with her photo on it, just so he knows who she is when she arrives at the door every day. She's got an 11-year-old son, and the book really is about the developing relationship between these three characters. And it's beautiful. It's like a Japanese painting or a tea ceremony. It's elegant, beautiful, understated, and very, very touching. It's got a number of different kind of sub-themes running through it. That's the main story. But one of the sub-themes is the professor's attempts, well, more than attempts, his enthusiasm to inculcate a love of mathematics with Root, 11-year-old Root, whose nickname comes from the fact that his head looks like a square root sign. That's the nickname that the professor gives him. And Root's mother, who hasn't had much education and feels inadequate, but comes to understand and be drawn into this love of mathematics. I think it's a good book for the mathematically phobic. It does explain lovely bits of number theory and things like that in a very acceptable way. It's only there for a page or two scattered through the book, so it's not heavy going, and it does open people up to some of the beauty of mathematics. The professor at one stage says that for him, understanding things about the way numbers behave and relate to each other in all kind of mystery and wonder is like peeking into God's notebook and copying down what you see. I'll read a tiny bit of it just to give you the flavour of it, but it's really good. The professor has won a competition. This is one of the things he does. He's quite a hermit, just scribbles away in his room. And he's won a competition, a maths competition, and he seems totally unfazed by this, and the housekeeper wants to celebrate, but he's not interested. He said, so she says, and she's the narrator here, perhaps all mathematicians underestimated the importance of their accomplishments, or perhaps this was just the professor's nature. Surely there must be ambitious mathematicians who wanted to be known for the advancements they'd made in their field, but none of that seemed to matter to the professor. He discounted the value of his own efforts and seemed to feel that anyone would have done the same. We'll have to celebrate, I said. I don't think there's anything to celebrate. When someone works hard and won first prize, his friends want to celebrate with him. Why make a fuss? I simply peeked in God's notebook and copied down a bit of what I saw. No, we're going to celebrate. Root and I want to, even if you don't. And that's the kind of nature of it. But as you go along, he does explain really interesting things about prime numbers, perfect numbers, triangular numbers. It's quite lovely and it's accessible. But it's a moving, gentle, absorbing little story. I loved it and I would strongly recommend it.